Man, it's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. This is the attorney, man, speaking on R.Kelly's situation, and we're going to listen in and hear what he got to say. Then we're going to break this stuff down, man, and talk about it on our own. It's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours. Check it out.
I presently represent 6 clients, 2 victims, 2 parents, as well as 2 whistleblowers who can both be described as knowing R.Kelly and being within his inner circle for the better part of 25 years. My office was originally retained in April of last year by a concerned parent. We began a thorough investigation. We traveled the United States. We interviewed witnesses. We uncovered documents. And we did so very, very quietly so as to ensure that no complaints could later be made that we were pursuing this for any other reason other than justice. Again, we began in April of last year. Earlier this month, we uncovered and recovered a videotape of over 40 minutes in length. We promptly brought it to the attention of Ms. Fox and others in her office. This tape leaves no question as to whether R.Kelly is guilty of multiple sexual illegal acts against a 14-year-old girl. The tape was shot in the late 90s, approximately 1999. It depicts 2 separate scenes shot on 2 separate days within Mr. Kelly's residence at the time. The audio on the tape is clearly, you can clearly listen to it. It is clear. The video is far superior than the video that was used in connection with the 2008 trial. It is an entirely different video. Repeatedly on the video, both the victim and Mr. Kelly refer to the victim's age as being 14. That occurs in excess of 10 separate times on the video. Both the victim and Mr. Kelly can be heard referencing her age. It is also clear from other things that are depicted on the video that this was in no way role-playing during some sexual act. It is clear that this young lady was 14 years of age during the time the video was shot. Mr. Kelly, throughout the video, stops what he's doing, stops his acts of sexual assault, and he proceeds to move the video camera and adjust the camera angle, zooming in, changing the direction of the shot, and things of that nature. So there's no question that he knew exactly what he was doing. At one time, or at one point in time on the video, in the first scene, it is clear that Mr. Kelly is having the victim watch another piece of pornography, which appears to be him with yet another young girl on a big screen television in the background. Repeatedly on the video, the young lady refers to Mr. Kelly as Daddy. The video depicts Mr. Kelly engaged in oral sex with the young victim, both receiving as well as giving, as well as vaginal intercourse and anal penetration. There are also instances of Mr. Kelly urinating on the young girl on the videotape. This video was turned over again to Ms. Fox and others in our office earlier this month, within days of our recovery of the tape. We have since provided additional information and evidence to Ms. Fox and others in her office. We envision continuing to do so because our investigation is not complete. We are aware of 2 other tapes in existence, one of which we have recovered, the second of which we are in the process of recovering, and as soon as we do, we will be providing those tapes as well to Ms. Fox and others in her office. Today marks a watershed moment in the 25 years of abuse by this predator known as R.Kelly. He, together with those that enabled him, undertook a course of action over 2 decades to abuse and sexually assault young girls, especially many of whom were the most vulnerable in our society. Girls that many would not listen to. Girls that came from very tough times and tough neighborhoods in many instances. These were the most vulnerable. And yet this predator, Mr. Kelly, preyed on them repeatedly. I want to send a message to the enablers of Mr. Kelly, to the agents and the managers and the attorneys and the others who stood idly by and looked the other way and turned a blind eye while teenage girls were sexually assaulted for over 2 decades. I will not rest until each of you is brought to justice. We will uncover evidence relating to your participation in these crimes. Mr. Kelly did not do this alone. He did so with the assistance of all of these folks. And it was all, let's be clear, in the interest of money. These people, these agents, these attorneys, and these managers, they looked the other way while these young girls were taken advantage of instead of doing the right thing because they didn't want to kill the golden goose. They didn't want to interfere with their own individual paydays. And as far as I'm concerned, they are just as guilty as the predator R.Kelly. It is disgusting. And every parent in America should be disgusted not only by the conduct of Mr. Kelly, but by those that turned a blind eye, that looked the other way while this occurred for over 2 decades. As a father of 2 teens.
Now, that's what I wanted to talk about. It ain't just R. Kelly, like I said before. It's not just R. Kelly. And that's good that the handlers involved and all the other people, not only R. Kelly, but the handlers that's involved, the people who was bringing those girls to him, all of them need to be prosecuted. So congratulations to the attorney on that, the district attorney on that. It's not just about R. Kelly. What about the handlers that he mentioned? What about the people who was literally setting this thing up? See, it ain't only about him. And what about the parents that also voluntarily, willfully handed their children over also? Get them all. Everybody that's involved, get them all, and not just him and him alone. And like he said, they didn't want to interfere because it stopped the golden goose. Because that's what it was about. When you look at what happened in the surviving R. Kelly situation, you will see that some of these parents on record talking about, even though they knew about this man problem, they knew about his addiction to young girls and the case he had with the other young girl and him and Leah's situation. They still didn't care and brought their children to that man, literally. I mean, like, why would you tempt somebody like that? If a crackhead trying to get off drugs, why do you take him to the dope house? If a prostitute trying to stay off the streets from prostituting, why would you take her to the strip club? If an alcoholic trying to stop drinking liquor, why would you take him to the bar? Why would you take him, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with R. Kelly. If this man is a predator and things like that, why would you, and you know he got this fetish with young girls, why would you bring your children to mentor this? Why would you bring your children to this man for him? Who want their daughter to be mentored by a man anyway? If you want your daughter to be mentored by somebody, you take her to a female. Who want their young daughter to be mentored not only by a man, but by a man that is already on record as being a pedophile and raping little girls from what happened in this last case? Like, who does that? Like, really, let's just be realistic. So I'm some way, man, I'm okay with this when it comes to seeing that he's going to be not only prosecuted, but everybody that had a hand involved gonna be prosecuted too. And that's how it's supposed to be. It ain't just R. Kelly. You go out to everybody that broke the law, who assisted and participated in this. Those who, because like I say, his handlers, when R. Kelly would be like, hey, I want that one. And they knew he was young, so he didn't want to go do it on his own because he knew he was wrong, so he sent them to do the dirty work. And they bought them children to R. Kelly for him. And parents bought their children to R. Kelly. And this whole thing is a mess, and it's horrible, but justice is done. But let me tell you who did R. Kelly the worst out of everybody. What was who gave R. Kelly the death blow? Himself. Because of that sexual perversion and that demon that was just rising in him to do all the things he was doing, he wanted to, look, even though he got the girls at his expense, anytime he wanted to use them, but that wasn't good enough. He wanted tapes of it. He wanted to record it and watch it over and over again, even though they right there with him. But that's how that spirit is. It never rests. It wants more, more, and more, and more. It can never get enough. It can never get enough. Here's a guy that every woman around the world, not every woman, that everywhere he go around the world, women of all ages of beauty want to be with this man. Grown women of age want to be with this man. Would do all that stuff for him for nothing. Twosome, threesome, foursome, fivesomes, wouldn't even care. Top-notch fine girls. Bodies bad. He didn't want that, though. That's too much of him not having to do nothing. That's just, look, he don't even understand that's power. But he want hands-on power, where he get a hard on knowing that he's taking something from you. That's the power he wanted. He want that Illuminati power. I don't want you doing this for nothing. I want to feel I'm making you do this. I'm making you do this. Not you wanting to do this. I feel better knowing I'm making you do that. This is why I get a hard on them. And y'all hear some of the graphic details the state's attorney said. Where this man sitting here running up through in these young girls, anal sex, 14-year-old girls, just anally, raping them anally. And they parents. This man, look, this man is charged with trafficking. One of this man's charges is trafficking minors over the state line. Who let they, and think about it. We talking about young girls as parents. As parents, who let their young girls, 14, 15 years old, leave for weeks and weekends and days and months at a time, and that don't bother you? You're not concerned about that. No chaperones, no nothing, she just gone. Your teenage 14, 15-year-old daughter just gone. Right. He gave the death blow to himself. He wanted to keep all that evidence, all those tapes. And then people in his inner circle, once they start seeing that, because you could sense when, and see what they don't know, they hurt themselves too. The people in his inner circle, when they start sensing that, he was finna start cutting them off and replacing them with other people and things like that. What did they do? What did they do? Grab some of those tapes. Then blackmail. Now, since he cut us off, we gonna get these to the people. Right. You know what them people say? Oh, thank you for these tapes. Where did you get these tapes from? Oh, we got them from R.Kelly house. Was he aware that you got this out of his house? How did he know you got these? Oh, we took them. We knew what he was doing. Oh, so you were there when these acts were taking place and going on? Were you aware that this girl was 14? You saw the tape. How often did you see her at that house? And what was your hand in this? Oh, yeah. We got some talking to do with you, too. Thanks for the tapes, though. Yeah. We're going to make sure. See, that's how they know now. They're going to make sure R. Kelly is prosecuted. And this man is out of there. He gone. He ain't coming back. This is Chicago. This is the Chicago Police Department. They got 10 charges of their own. We have yet to hear what Atlanta finna charge him with, what New York is finna charge him with. We ain't even got the IRS charges or the Department of Home Freeland. We ain't even got that. What's that called? Let me see. The Department of what? The Department of Homeland Security. We ain't even got theirs. This dude out of there, man. That's how come I believe I ain't pouring no salt. This man gonna kill himself. This man ain't never getting out of prison. Never. He gone for life. He gone for life. You're not finna beat all these charges. Chicago got 10 on you. Atlanta finna drop some. New York finna drop some. Other departments dropping some. Oh yeah, look, you ain't that cold. No matter what lawyers you get, it's over for dude, man. Look, it's literally over for him. Y'all think about that. It's over for this dude. He already 50-something years old. 30 years is life for him. 20 years is life for him. That's life. You already 50. You already 50. The life expectancy for a man is like 70. You already 50. 20 years is you done. 30 years, you done. 40, you done. You done. He done. Ain't no way to get around it. Look, when I say he done, he done. They finna stick it to this man. He have nothing left. He already don't own the rights to his music. He already don't own the rights and publishing to his music. Then the little money you do got saved up, you might as well chop that up, because here's something that people forget. When you go into court, not only is it lawyer fees and all them things, but you also gonna get fined. Each one of these cases carry prison time and the fine. They finna tap this dude's pocket on every level, and not including the victims in this thing putting civil lawsuits on them also. So you finna do all this time, life in prison, and you finna be bankrupt. That man gonna kill himself. He already mentally ain't got it fixed up here. Ain't even got it mentally fixed up here to some degree. He got sense, he's smart, but at the same time, he got a problem. And you cannot mock and play with God. You cannot mock and play with God like you was doing, R.Kelly. You can't. When you caught that first case, you started going to church, kicking it with Kelly Price and them, Kimberly and them. You got to kicking it with them, Kim Burrell. Doing all this gospel stuff. You even did a gospel album. Talking about you want to change your life, give it to Christ. And Christ was good to you, wasn't he? Yep, he was. He gave you another chance. And what did you do when God gave you another chance? You went worse. You got worse. When you got that verdict and you was free, your brother even on record saying this on an interview. Your brother said he was telling you how God blessed you when you were going to church and things, and God blessed you and he forgave you when you repented. You know what I'm saying? When you repented and God forgave you, and you were trying to get your life back right, and you were going to church and you did the gospel album and everything, you beat that case. Not that God didn't like God was working against the victims and things. No. He just know that if you could change your life and you have all this influence and powerful like this, even though you did what you did to them young girls, that can be forgiven. And you could use this as a means to help millions or more people by turning your life again and speaking and helping others that go through this stuff. But you didn't do that, R.Kelly. You broke your deal and promise with God. You broke your deal and promise with God, and look what happened to you now. And this is what the Bible say. What happens when an unclean spirit comes out of a man? What happened when you started devoting yourself to God? He started blessing you, didn't he? He started blessing you. He started helping you. He started saving you, keeping you. You went against him. Soon that verdict, not guilty. You got free. I'm done with this. Thank you, Lord, but let me get back into this. Let me go back to being a sexual predator. You wasn't playing God. You wasn't pimping God. God knew. Okay. He think he playing me. I answered your prayer because you called out to me. So this against your judgment. So when you stand before me, when you say, I pray, I answered you, didn't I? Then I answered you. And what did you do in return? When you called out to me and I answered you, what did you do in return? You stabbed me in the back. And the Bible say, what happens when an unclean spirit comes out of a man? It go through dry areas looking for a place to rest. It finds none. And the spirit say, I'm finna return back to the body that I was with and in. When he get back to the body and see that this body did not replace the evil spirit with the Holy Spirit. When that spirit look at and examine that human body and see he don't have the Holy Spirit in him, after he was removed out, he go and get 7 more evil spirits more powerful than him to make his home in that man. And that man is worse than he was from the first time. See, when God removed that bad spirit from you and you started replacing it with God, with his good spirit, then behind that, the moment you got the okay that you was okay, what did you do? You got rid of it. And you tried to go into your little secret private cave to be more smarter than you was last time, hoping that you wouldn't get caught this time. And guess what? You got caught worse than you did last time. Now you got Atlanta charges on you, New York charges on you, Chicago charges on you, more charges from the FBI, the IRS, Department of Homeland Security. See how that happened? That spirit came back 7 times worse. And now, the charges you facing is 7 times worse. 7 times worse. Because you tried to mock and play God. You thought you could pimp God. You tried to use his mercy and goodness as a means for you to have freedom. Then backstab him after he answered you. And what happened now? Now who you gonna run to? Everybody in your corner for abandoning you, telling on you now. People who you once trusted and everything, they gave them police them tapes. Yeah, see how that worked? Cursed is the man that put his trust in every man. Now you really need God more than anything. Now you really need God more than anything. Right. You out of pocket. You out of pocket. And it's coming back to get you. And coming back to get you. You can't win. You can't win this. It's over. This man can't take this. Man can't take this. They took his money. He ain't got nothing left. All that singing don't mean nothing. Your status don't mean nothing. It's a wrap for you, man. You bought this on yourself. And I told you, everybody that played a part in this, everybody that participated in this, y'all going down with them. Justice. That's only one part of it. This human justice. God ain't got his yet. God haven't got his yet. And this battle truth ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours. You gave yourself your own death blow. Keeping all the evidence of yourself. Came back and got you, didn't it? Right.